if you stumbled across this video, what I suggest you do if you want to start at the beginning of the series is go to YouTube search bar, type in one dot beginner day trading introduction, then go to filters, sort by upload date, and you should see the first one here. So go to the name here, go to videos, and then sort by oldest and start watching from the first one. Let's recap what we know so far about volume. Well, what is volume? Volume is the total number of shares that have exchanged hands from buyer to seller or seller to buyer, same thing. And it can be for a certain period, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever the period is. It could be the total volume for that day. So when you watch the news and they talk about stock market and they say the volume was X, that's what they're talking about. It's for the day. Well, more volume usually means there's more interest in a stock. There are more people buying and selling, more trades occurring. It is usually safer when we're day trading because more volume can drive the price up. And if you happen to have to dump or sell, it can be easier to sell out of your position if there's more volume and more interest. Relative volume is a ratio between current volume over average volume. And why is relative volume good to know? Because it can help indicate which stocks are gaining interest for the day. Remember that we are penny stock day traders right now. We're not investing. We're not even, going over a week. We're trading for the day. We're getting in, we're getting out. We want to know relative volume. What do we know about support and resistance? Support, usually green, and resistance, usually red, can be useful in drawing trend lines. And these trend lines can help us evaluate the future price of a stock, and therefore it helps us know when to buy and sell. What do we know about stock screeners? So stock screeners can help us select stocks that we wish to trade. And we have found out, or we are finding out, that not all stock screeners are equal. Some are better than others. And I'm going to say that probably the ones that you subscribe to might be better. Not necessarily. And I don't recommend you doing that at this stage of the game because you're just starting out. Once you get better at it, you're actually making money, then you're probably, yes, going to invest in subscriptions to not just stock screeners, but other things. I think I covered volatility a little bit early on, but I'm going to recap if I have, because I want to make sure we get this. First, let's try to visually describe what volatility is not. So for instance, say that I have, and we saw this in a previous video with actual stock. This is not, sorry for my terrible drawing here, okay? First of all, it doesn't have enough volume, and it seems to be going to several specific. I mean, you could trade this if you wanted to, but this kind of should tell you there's just not enough volume, so never mind that. Here's a more realistic one that I wouldn't, remember we're talking about day trading. Volatility is important for the day, not if you look at it over a week, for instance. That won't help you. It's for the day. So here's one that happened in a day, right? Say there was a spike and then it went down and then ever so slowly it started filling the gap. Okay. Now, that could be considered volatility, I suppose, because it is the price swing, right? It was here and to here. But you're only going to do like one or two trades here in that one, in that case, because you're going to, hopefully you got in around here. Maybe you sold and you watched your trends, right? You watched your resistance, your support. You decided, okay, I'll buy some here and I'll put a sell order up here. So that's one way to look at that as volatile. Here's another way. I would say that's a volatile stock. I would say this one's probably not. And so here we see that volatility provides opportunities for day traders. And it is risky, but that risk is precisely why stocks deliver better returns than safer assets. Investors, or I would say traders, can be rewarded for taking on a risk, and those rewards come from higher returns. Here we go. Day traders can make use of volatility in the short term too. I really want to emphasize for you volatility in the short term, not over the long run. Okay, it's time to get a little bit more serious now with actually picking some stocks. I think we have enough basic information to actually pick some stocks. We're going to use the Yahoo Finance stock screener like we did before, and I believe you'll want to save your parameters and your values. So you'll want to have a Yahoo Mail account, I guess, and be logged in. Here we go. You've already watched the previous videos, so you know how to get to the stock screeners and how to create, where to go to create a stock screener. So I'm not going to go over that. So here we go. We'll leave region as United States. We're going to get rid of market cap. We're going to get rid of sector and industry. Let's go find volume. Where is it? Right here. Volume end of day. Average volume 3 months. And I think we get also that volume. We're going to need price. And that is here. Price end of day. And change in price percentage. Price intraday is already checked. And so I think that's it. We have our parameters. So we have the region, price, intraday. Let's go between, let's do half a cent, 0.005 to, let's do 20 cents. We're down to 2,062 shares. I'm not going to show you that. You already know how to watch that. Let's do, since we're here, average. Let's do greater than 1 million. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that looks good. Volume greater than 5 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're down to 53 stocks. Percent change. Now, remember we talked about volatility in this video. That's why I talked about volatility, because of this. So we're going to say between -2% and +2%. We're down to 19 shares. Let's finish off with the volume end of day, which we'll do the same thing, 5 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We are down to 14 stocks. Let's click on Find Stocks. Let's sort by price. You've been watching the previous videos. You know how to get to each stock's main chart. So I'm not going to go over that. I want to add one new thing. There's this little part right here that is volume. Now you go up here to indicators, scroll until you get to volume chart. And that is right here. And you check that, or you click on that, and you get the volume chart. Now, once you get the volume chart down here, don't be fooled by those small spikes necessarily, especially if you're comparing one stock to another, because these numbers here change. Notice that this one, the low value is 5 million, and the middle is 10, and the top is 15. So depending on the stock you're looking at, you need to look at these numbers to see whether these little spikes are significant or not. In other words, if you have enough value. But remember, we did some filtering, we did some screening. Now, I went to the 1 month view of this stock, and if I was investing, I would probably maybe not look at this stock. But I'm not. I'm day trading, so I don't really care too much. Like, that might be ancient history. Now look at this. This is 5 days. Look at all these swings here. And notice there's a bit, let me draw. We already know how to draw, right? Yep, now we get the two colors. So, okay. I'm going to say that the resistance is going down. That's true. However, there is a little bit of an upswing here, so I could be a little optimistic maybe and say that I have a little bit of a support here. How about right here? Possibly. Something to consider. Here's another one, alternate systems. And if you look closely down here, I'm not going to blow it up. This volume is less. It's 3 million. So it's less volume, but even though the spikes look like they're more, it's actually a smaller chart. This was kind of similar to what we saw, right, on the previous one, based on our filtering. Again, I'm just going to do this instead of drawing because it takes too long. Going like so, the resistance could probably be here, but there's definitely looks like an uptrend right here, although the volume isn't that much, but this one might be worth a consideration. Here's yet another one, All American Pet Company. Now I like this one. Check this one. Again, it was down, it's starting to crawl up again, so we have an increasing support and a descending resistance, but the support looks like it's trending up higher than the resistance. We'd have to see, but definitely worth consideration. Now, by the way, this is a 5-day. Let's look at the 1 day. And look, it's definitely, did some spiking here, and that was today. Now, this is not volatile, I guess, for the day, right? It turned volatile, let's say, after, it looked like from 3 p.m. to close. And by the way, we haven't talked about things, why the morning and why the afternoon, but we'll have to get to that later. But some volatility here, again, worth a consideration. When I came across this one, I was kind of laughing a bit because I actually am holding a position in this one. I have been. This one, I have not been trading it. I've actually been holding it. It's going to come up on a year sometime soon. I actually believe in this particular company. But I bring it up, not because I came across it because of the filtering, but look at this. So look at this. Remember in the previous video, I talked about that downward spike, and look how it recovers. This could have definitely been a stop loss, a stop hunting maneuver right there. Now that's at a 5-day. Let's go to 1 day. My chart is stuck. Okay, 1 day. Now look, here we have filling in a gap. And then as it gets to near where the line of resistance was, people are, they're very iffy. Now it's even though you can barely see any spikes in volume, the actual volume chart is up to 15 million. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting and I wanted to show you this one. And I don't know that I would trade this one because actually, there's not very volatile, just sometimes. And this is based on news, I guess. But I just wanted to show you. And before I forget, probably the most important thing to end with is we want to save our filter, give it a name. I'm going to say my dot penny dot stock dot screener, and I'm going to hit save. And then whenever you come to Yahoo Stock Screener, you can either edit the parameters, the values, or it'll just run it, and then you'll have different results depending on when you run it. All right, we're going to end the video right here, and I really think that you have enough information now. While basic, you have enough information to actually use the Yahoo Stock Screener, pick some stocks, see if you can find them on Webull, add them to the watch list, and then do the paper trading and see how you do. We'll see you in the next video.